19th Annual Tasting Stars.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
We have a great program for you tonight that's entertaining, fun, and meaningful.
Even though we can't be together in person, we know that our Tasting Stars family is together in spirit.
We are here to support a cause that is very meaningful to us.
And specifically, we're raising funds to support the incredible and critical work of a Silver Lining Foundation.
On behalf of your Tasting Stars hosts, thank you again for joining us tonight.
And now, enjoy the show.
Live from the Dirt Environmental Solutions showroom, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 19th Annual Tasting Stars. Although I'm sure it would be far better if you were all in this beautiful room with us tonight, it's still wonderful to be able to get together with our Tasting Stars family virtually. So on behalf of our Tasting Stars hosts, I want to sincerely thank you for joining us tonight. And now I have the pleasure of introducing our MC for the evening. Paul Lisnick is the political analyst for WGN TV and anchor of the show WGN TV Political Report, which airs Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. He also hosts Behind the Curtain, a podcast for WGN Radio, and Broadway in Chicago Backstage, and Newsmakers for the Comcast Network. He's the recipient of numerous Telly, Emmy, Cablefax, and Communicator Awards for his work on TV. Paul is also impressively the author of 15 books. His latest is a work of fiction called Assumed Treason, and it was published in January of this year. We are thrilled to have Paul back again with us this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Lisnick.
And thank you, Brent. It is a pleasure to be your MC again for this year's Tasting Stars. You know, it's the second year that we have had to do this virtually, but it's a sign of the times. It's just the way things go. And tonight, the good news is we have some fantastic entertainment for you and some new components I think you're really going to love. So sit back and enjoy this great evening. And of course, don't ever forget we are here to support a really important and worthwhile cause that you're going to hear more about as the evening goes on. Now, I really hope some of you at this point are enjoying your A Taste of Paris goodies that were delivered to you from entertaining company. I also hope some of you, perhaps this is Tasting Stars, are sitting back and enjoying now a nice glass of bubbly right about now. I'm going to take one. So let's all enjoy. Now, we are coming to you from the Dirt Environmental Solutions showroom. It's actually undergone some tremendous changes and renovations, completely refurbished. Absolutely amazing to see right now. I'm so glad that I am in that space, but I want to be able to share the space with you. So we're going to take you on a little video tour of this spectacular facility. Enjoy.
My name is Charles Edward Stanfield. My title is Chevalier Ordre de Couture de Champagne. Well, to help educate the public about the wines of Champagne in the region, and to be an ambassador of the region of Champagne. There's a lot of misconceptions involved with the wine, and people, to this day, a lot of people say, I didn't want champagne, I wanted wine. Well, champagne is wine, it's only the best wine. Wow, got an hour? Champagne, the soil is the key thing. The name itself, champagne, means chalk in the soil. And the grape varietals that are the primary varietals, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier, are different there. They blend different there. They taste different there. And for that reason, there's no other wine that can be called champagne. If it's not from Champagne, it isn't champagne. All wines that sparkle are not champagne. Oh, yes. You got Cremant de Bourgogne, Cremant de Loire, Cremant de Alsace, Côte du Jura, Blanc de Limoux. It doesn't have to be champagne to be a great sparkling wine. I enjoy sparkling wines from all over France.
And now I'm going to invite you to sit back, have another sip of bubbly if you wish, and enjoy some fantastic music. We are so excited to have our friend Anthony Pachetti back with us this year. I'm sure you remember him from last year, an amazing talent. Let me remind you a little bit of his background. Anthony grew up in Hamilton, New Jersey, probably before the show Hamilton was created. After taking classical piano lessons at such an early age, he studied with a jazz pianist. During high school, he received a bachelor's degree from New York University and a master's degree from the Manhattan School of Music in jazz piano performance. Now, since 2017, Anthony has served as a pianist for the United States Army Field Band's jazz ambassadors. He's traveled all around the country. He's gone abroad as a musical ambassador for the United States Army. Now, this year, Anthony has a friend joining him. He's joined by jazz trumpeter and Minneapolis native Preston Haining. A little bit about Preston. Preston has his Bachelor of Arts in Music in Jazz Studies from the University of North Texas, and after relocating from Minnesota, he enjoyed an active freelance career in the LA area. Preston currently resides in Baltimore and serves as a jazz trumpeter for the U.S. Army Jazz Ambassadors Big Band. So now, my pleasure to welcome and bring you the gorgeous music of Anthony Pachetti and Preston Haining. Enjoy.
Hi there, my name's Anthony Pachetti, and this is Preston Haining, and we're going to play some tunes for you today. I'm really happy to be here again, performing for Tasting the Stars, and we heard that the theme was French this year, so we decided to choose this tune, La Vie en Rose. This was the first one that came to mind with the French theme, so hope you enjoy.
And now we come to that time in the evening where I want to reflect a bit with you on why we're here, because it is an important cause that brings us here together. You know, this event was founded by two guys who actually had a chance meeting years ago and discovered they had a mutual passion for the breast cancer cause. And so they had this idea to raise money for the breast cancer cause and try and resolve that disease. And they would do it by holding a, lucky for us, champagne-themed benefit event. And here we are, 19 years later, which, by the way, means next year is 20, so that's probably going to be pretty big. I'm looking forward to that. Well, anyway, tonight, all the funds raised go to a Silver Lining Foundation, and specifically to its Buy a Mom a Mammogram program, which provides access to cost-free screening mammograms and other diagnostic services for uninsured and underinsured individuals. So I want to share with you that story of Tasting Stars and the story of a Silver Lining Foundation and how that partnership, fortunately, got together and resulted in making a difference in the lives of so many people who are in need. So take a sip, sit back, and let's take a few moments to listen to that story.
Hi, I'm Brent Carstensen,
And I'm Charles Edward Stanfield.
and we're the co-founders of Tasting Stars. When we first met, it was by chance in a liquor store in the champagne department, and you pointed out my jacket, which was from a breast cancer event, and you commented on it, and I noticed that you had a pink ribbon because you were pointing to it on your apron. What was your connection with breast cancer?
Well, my aunt, she had breast cancer, and a few of my friends, one of my close friends' sister had breast cancer, and I wore that to show solidarity and support with them.
So my question to Charles is, can you get some donated champagne? And he said, yeah. And that's how Tasting Stars was born. We had that idea right there to have an event that was champagne focused and raise money for the cause.
It was such a good coincidence that something that could be made of this, and I was very happy to be a part of it.
So our event started small. Thank God we had a beautiful, beautiful venue. Dolores and Ralph Barnett were gracious enough to allow us to use their spectacular condo at 900 North Michigan.
You know, they had a Star Wars stormtrooper in their apartment.
So that first year, you know, gorgeous venue, we had 40 people, which was probably about 38 more than I thought would show up. And we just had a great time. And over the years, we got more champagne. We invited more people. We added some friends and family as host couples. And I thought it was a big milestone when we had 100 people, a bigger milestone when we had 150 people. Then we had to change venues because as beautiful as the Barnett's home is on Michigan Avenue, we were packed in pretty tight like sardines. Our Tasting Stars event, and now we're 19 years later, we have raised a heck of a lot of money over those years. And I know it's having a difference too. It's making an impact, especially with the work that a Silver Lining Foundation does. The ability to make cost-free mammograms and other breast health testing available to uninsured and underinsured individuals is very tangible and very meaningful.
Breast cancer doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care what language you speak, and it doesn't care about your age, income, faith, or gender. But access to health insurance and affordable health care does discriminate. If you're under 40, insurance won't pay for a mammogram, even with a family history. If you need diagnostic testing, it's subject to deductibles, and nearly half of the insured pay high deductibles to reduce monthly premium expenses. And if you earn more than $16,612 a year, you make too much money to qualify for Medicaid. Now, if you're a legal immigrant, you're ineligible for Medicaid during the first 5 years of your legal residency. And what about those who are ineligible for any type of insurance coverage? Early detection saves lives, but only for those who have access to testing and who can afford it.
I'm Dr. Sandy Goldberg, co-founder of the Silver Lining Foundation. The foundation was born in 2002 after I had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And what I learned is that I was one of the lucky ones. I had access to everything that I needed during that journey. And I learned that other people, in fact most people, were not that fortunate. My husband and I were talking about what to do, and we decided we were going to start a foundation. And we started it at our kitchen table with one donation. And the programs of the foundation have grown over the course of these 17 years. Program number 1, the Chicagoland Cancer Information Coalition. Resource information and outreach. It's comprised of 24 participating organizations, some of which with a national footprint. Program number 2, Buy a Mom a Mammogram. That has evolved into so much more than a mammogram. We now fund all breast health testing, screenings through biopsies for uninsured, underinsured, and undocumented women and men. An outgrowth of that, I always cry when I say this, the Evelyn Goldberg Mammography Center. The Mammography Center was renamed at UI Health in honor of my late mother, and that is the haven for those individuals receiving testing there. Program 4, Keep Abreast, a program designed specifically for young people. A multimedia presentation by a trained survivor, educating young people about breast health, the myths that are involved, about advocating for their own health, and going into their communities, their homes and communities, talking about what breast health testing and health advocacy actually means. And then Program 5, Survive to Thrive, which addresses the unique needs and specific testing requirements of those who have already been diagnosed with breast cancer. The women and men that we deal with at a Silver Lining Foundation feel that they don't matter. They feel that nobody cares. They feel that they are alone in the world. This is not the premise upon which our foundation is based. We turn no one away. So as we celebrate this evening, you've heard about what a Silver Lining Foundation does. What we need from you is to rise up, to help us make sure that no one goes unrecognized. And why? Because we feel everyone deserves a chance to survive.
So we've looked back and reflected over 19 years of Tasting Stars, and it's brought us to tonight. We hope you enjoy. We're grateful that you're here. We're looking forward to a wonderfully successful evening that's entertaining and raises a lot of money for the great work done by a Silver Lining Foundation.
I'm not much for catchphrases, but don't talk about it, be about it. Come on over and have some fun. Alchem van Autumn in the Republic of South Africa in Franschhoek. He has sparkling wine. He produces a sparkling wine called Pierre Jordan, and it's one of the best sparkling wines I've tasted, period. And he was sabering bottles. He's a real character, but he's very passionate about his craft. And he showed me how to saber a bottle there. And I have the cork at home. So, it's like a little keepsake, but that's where I learned to flavor champagne. Being steady-handed, holding the bottle firm, and trying to get it on the first stroke. Always go with the seam on the bottle. Some people take the wire muzzle off. You don't have to, but some people do. No doubt. This is important. If you take the wire muzzle off, that cork has nothing to hold it in. And depending on how the bottle was handled, when you aim it like that at somebody, it could go off in their face, and that could create an incident. But, you know.
And welcome back. You know, at last year's event, Dr. Sandy shared the exciting and wonderful news that the Tasting Stars family was going to be recognized for its contributions to a Silver Lining Foundation over the past 10 years. How? By receiving the 2020 Evie Award. Now, that award is given annually to an individual or an organization who perpetuates the legacy of Dr. Sandy's mother. Her name was Evelyn, or Evie Goldberg. Well, Tasting Stars received that award at the Silver Lining Foundation virtual gala back in October. So tonight, we thought we'd share that special moment with all of you.
Hello all, this is Courtney Mahoney from the Chicago Wolves hockey team. And I'm very proud and privileged to present this year's winner of the Evie Award, Tasting Stars. Tasting Stars was started when a couple of guys were going down doing their liquor store shopping and found that they had a couple things in common: a love of champagne and a big passion for fighting against breast cancer. And after they chatted for a bit, they figured out they were going to put their minds together and combine the two causes and create an event. Started in 2004, it was just a handful of folks. They're good friends getting together, tasting champagne, remembering Dom Perignon's first taste of it, saying it tastes like the stars. And by doing that, they created an event that raised over $6,000 with just friends and family. And for the past 10 years, all of this money has gone to the Silver Lining Foundation, to the Buy a Mama Mammogram program, which provides a mammogram for those women who aren't able to afford one. I can't even count, and I love that it's a number so high, of how many women and how many lives they have supported by this amazing endeavor. Big kudos to Tasting Stars. I think everybody couldn't be more proud of you and what you guys have done. And if I had a glass of champagne, which I should have for this, I'd raise it to you guys. And again, Tasting Stars is such a great example of what a great idea, hard work, all is combined to do an amazing work for Silver Lining Foundation. I'm privileged to introduce and proud to introduce Brent Carstensen, who is going to accept the award on behalf of Tasting Stars. Thank you so much, Brent. Again, if I had a glass, I'd salute you, but all the best. Congrats on your award.
Thank you, Courtney. I am honored to accept this award on behalf of our entire Tasting Stars family. This event began over 18 years ago with a simple idea that was sparked by a casual conversation I was having with Charles Stanfield. It says right here on the award, "We are all family." What has driven the success we have had over these years is the dedication of our Tasting Stars family and their passion for this important cause. Year in and year out, we know we can count on our volunteers, our event partners and sponsors, and our attendees and donors, many who have been involved with this event since it began back in 2004. But our Tasting Stars family also includes a special group that is the heart and soul of this event, our 7 host couples. Without them, this event truly would not be the success it is today. You know what? I'd really like you to meet them. And here they are, the 7 host couples that are such a crucial part of our Tasting Stars family. Clare and Dave Petersen, Lynne and Stuart Gunn, Lisa and Michael O'Rourke, Sara and Bart Kratz, John and Julie Crumley, Amy and Michael Lindquist, And with me here is my lovely wife, Ann. On behalf of the Tasting Stars family, thank you again for this honor. Now, please join us in raising our glasses in honor and appreciation of a Silver Lining Foundation and Dr. Sandy for the incredible impact you have had on so many lives. May there be many more silver linings to come. Cheers.
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 Speaking of awards, we'd like to present one right now. 2 years ago, we established the Stars of Tasting Stars Award. It's presented to individuals who have gone above and beyond in contributing to the success of this event. I'm happy to announce that tonight we are recognizing 2 members of our Tasting Stars family who have made significant contributions to this event. Our first star is Lori Respass. Lori has been a Tasting Stars volunteer for 8 years. She made an immediate impact on our event by bringing years of nonprofit fundraising and event experience to our silent and live auctions. Plus, she has served as a critical sounding board and advisor on many facets of Tasting Stars, especially those related to fundraising. When Lori commits to a volunteer assignment, it simply gets done, and done well. Tasting Stars is truly fortunate to tap into Lori's talent and expertise. She has made an incredible impact on the event, and for that, we thank her. Congratulations, Lori. Our second star is Pat Mangan, who recently retired as a senior marketing executive with Moet Hennessy USA. Pat has been a partner with Tasting Stars almost from day one of the event. His donations of Moet Hennessy products throughout the years ensured that our guests always enjoyed some of the finest bubbly around. But Pat's generosity didn't stop there. Who could forget the numerous raffle and auction items, from magnums of champagne and merchandise to winery tours and a once-in-a-lifetime Chicago River cruise on the infamous Veuve Clicquot boat. Pat, your partnership has been instrumental in the evolution of Tasting Stars and has allowed us to raise even more money for this important cause. We cannot thank you enough for all you've done. Congratulations, Pat.
Look for the grower champagnes. They're small producers and they do excellent and overlooked work. Ooh. I used a medium large regular wine glass, especially with vintage champagne. I don't want to put vintage champagne in a flute. I want it to move around because there's so much going on with a nice vintage champagne. A flute, a larger flute for me for non-vintage brutes. I'll drink out of a coupe if that's all there is to drink out of. I don't want to be too, picky about things. It's the champagne for me, but I can't stress that enough. With a vintage champagne, I like a medium large wine glass. You'll see where you can just smell it and taste it better. But if you want to drink champagne and really enjoy it, a Jabon is the way to go. Wine ages better in bigger bottles. With a regular sized bottle and Magnum, but the Jabon is the bigger size bottle, and it's I think 4 bottles. 4 bottles it holds, but it's the last bottle that's riddled in a rack. So anything bigger than that, it's actually technically it's not champagne anymore because it's transfer method, because it wasn't aged in the bottle. They filled the big bottle up with several small bottles. It's champagne in name, but actually it's transfer method. The Jabon will always be aged in the bottle, and oh God, those are so good. I I'd like to taste the bottle with Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt. I'd love to taste a glass of champagne with Eartha Kitt.
Tasting Stars would like to recognize our media sponsor, Cancer Wellness, and want to remind you that you can read their magazine free digitally at cancerwellness.com.
And now it is my pleasure to recognize the presenting sponsor for tonight's event, Washington Square Health Foundation. This is actually the third consecutive year that they are sponsoring and are the presenting sponsor. So Tasting Stars is very grateful for their generous support of the event and, of course, of a Silver Lining Foundation. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce Howard Nachemson, Executive Director of the Washington Square Health Foundation, who I understand has a special announcement to share with all of us. Let's listen.
Thank you, Paul. The Washington Square Health Foundation grants funds to promote and maintain adequate access to health care for all people in the Chicagoland area, regardless of race, sex, creed, or financial need. It's our pleasure to sponsor Tasting Stars for the third consecutive year as it raises funds tonight to provide access to cost-free screening mammograms and other diagnostic testing to uninsured and underinsured individuals. They do this through the Silver Lining Foundation's Buy a Mom a Mammogram program. Tonight, Washington Square Health Foundation will match the first $15,000 raised during Tasting Stars. That means you can double the effect of your gifts tonight. We very much hope this encourages you to give generously to this important cause. And remember the Chicago adage regarding charity: give often and give big. We applaud the good work of Dr. Sandy and her entire team. Have a great time tonight.
Wow, that is incredible news. Thank you so much, Howard, for the matching grant. You know, it means that your gifts tonight are going to have double the impact. And what an incredible thing that is when the needs for these services have never been greater. So please give, and let's all take advantage of that matching grant. Thanks again so much. Well, now it's time for you to say hello to a special friend who can provide us with more perspective on the work of a Silver Lining Foundation. Many of you know the name and the face of Dr. Sandy Goldberg from television and so many other places, but I can tell you, having known Sandy for several years, that her dedication and her force of energy in the work that she does at a Silver Lining Foundation is truly unparalleled and unmatched. And when Dr. Sandy wants something from somebody to further the work of the foundation, I can promise you the word no is not in her vocabulary, so don't ever use it. And of course, we're not using it tonight because we're making every effort we can to raise as much money as we can, and now with a matching grant to further the work of a Silver Lining Foundation. It's my pleasure and my honor to introduce to you Dr. Sandy Goldberg.
Thank you, Paul. And thanks to all of you who are joining us tonight for Tasting Stars Virtual. It has been a year that none of us will ever forget. It has been a year of pain. It has been a year of understanding. It has been a year of education. But most of all, it has been a year in which we at a Silver Lining Foundation have been enlightened yet again by the need of people to access potentially life-saving breast health testing. We actually added a new category of individuals that we serve. And that category we call the newly uninsured. Those are people who went to bed one night, had a job, had insurance, woke up the next morning and had neither, and did not know what to do. How were they to take steps forward? How are they supposed to pay their rent, get food, take care of their children, and access breast health testing or testing in general of any kind? So what we did, again, here is our category that we've added, the newly uninsured. That's in addition to those who have been uninsured, who are underinsured, and who are undocumented. A group of 4, as I call it. So what we learned from this is the fact that people need people. They need access. And we learned very painful lessons. I'll give you an example. One day I got a call from one of our hospitals and they said, Dr. Sandy, we have a problem. And I said, yeah. 6 previously insured women had, within the last few days, who were scheduled for breast biopsies to determine whether or not they had breast cancer. And these 6 women called and they had to cancel, or they wanted to cancel their biopsies. Why? They had no insurance. They couldn't afford the test. Our hospital said, Dr. Sandy, can you and a Silver Lining Foundation help us? Yes. Yes, we can. Yes, we will. Yes, we must. And we funded those 6 biopsies. And out of those 6 women who would have gone without, 3, 50%, were diagnosed with breast cancer. Due to our agreement with our partner hospitals, all 3 of those women will get the care and the treatment that they need, and quite frankly, that they deserve. It is a journey. It is a journey that we take every single day, all of us. We all know what it's like to have to live in a world in which we cannot reach out and touch somebody. We live in a world now that to be able to see the bottom half of somebody's face has turned into a celebration. But what we must do, and what we must continue to do, and what is needed, and you can provide, is help and support. Last year's Tasting Stars funded 166 women. 166 women with access to breast health testing. Of those 166 women, if you would go according to the national statistics of being diagnosed with breast cancer, none should have been diagnosed. Of the 166 women that were funded by Tasting Stars, 5 were diagnosed. 5. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that in terms of your support past and in terms of your support tonight. Help us during these times when people still do not have jobs. They still do not have health insurance. They still do not have access. That you can provide. You can provide the gift of saving lives and the gift of easing lives. And for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and for all those women you have and will help. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Sandy. You know, if you had any questions before about the level of need that exists now for the work of a Silver Lining Foundation, Dr. Sandy certainly addressed us on that. And so we need your help more than ever. We're at the point in the program where I'm going to call on you, where Tasting Stars is going to call on you, where Dr. Sandy is going to call on you and ask you to make a financial gift to help fund access to cost-free screening mammograms and the diagnostic evaluations that go with those for the people most in need, the underinsured, the uninsured. They need our help. All right, let's walk through the 2 ways you can donate. First option, via the web. Just go to tastingstars.givesmart.com and scroll down to the Donate Now section. You can also text to give. Just use your smartphone and text Tasting Stars to 76278. Now that'll trigger a return text coming back to you. It'll have a hyperlink in it. You just click on that link and follow the prompts to make your donation. Now, for both of these options, you can choose from a suggested list of amounts that you'll see, or enter in any other amount you want in the Other field. For your convenience, we have included buttons for the following donation levels: $5,000, $2,500, $1,000, $500, $250, $100, and $50. But again, you can enter in any amount you want in the other field. And you know, while you're thinking about it, let me just kind of remind us that you really don't think twice usually when you put $100 on your Starbucks card so you can enjoy some morning coffee, or you go out for an evening for a dinner and now we can go back to the movies. The notion of spending $100, $50 or more on those evenings, come on, we do it all the time. But now we're saving lives by making that donation. And let me remind you that Washington Square Health Foundation is generously matching the first $15,000 raised this evening. Your gift will have twice the impact. This is the time to give. Let me just recap the two ways you can donate again. First, via the web, go to tastingstars.givesmart.com, scroll to the Donate Now section, or use your smartphone and do it as a text to give by texting Tasting Stars to 76278. You'll get a link, click on it, and just follow the prompts. It's really that easy. Okay, so now, while you're considering and making your donation, well, we want to give you a little music to give you something to think and think about. And so we're going to bring back Anthony Pachetti and Preston Hainig for another musical number. And during this piece, while you're donating, but watch your screen too, because we're going to be showing a photo collage honoring the very special people in all of our lives who have been impacted by breast cancer, reminding us once again, this is the time to donate. So enjoy the music, enjoy the special tribute, but give us your money. That was really beautiful. And again, a great reminder of what we are trying to accomplish here tonight. And we're doing it with your help. In fact, I know we're doing it because we are seeing the donations roll in. And so on behalf of everybody at Tasting Stars and the Silver Lining Foundation, for all of you who have donated this evening, thank you so much. And I want to acknowledge that I know many of you have donated prior to this evening, and we thank you for your donations as well. And by the way, perhaps you donated prior and you're donating tonight. That's okay too. A final reminder for all of us of the two ways that you can make your financial gift. Remember, you can do it on the web by going to tastingstars.givesmart.com and scroll to the Donate Now section, or use your smartphone and text Tasting Stars to 76278. You'll get a link, click on it, follow the prompts. Again, it's easy. And here's the good news. If for whatever reason you weren't able to donate tonight, maybe you're caught up in all that we're doing and you went, oh, I haven't gotten there yet. We are going to keep these channels open through the night and through the month. So you actually have time to contribute to the bottom line effort of tonight's Tasting Stars event. And now I'm going to turn things over to Brent because you probably want to know who the lucky winner is of tonight's door prize. Brent?
Thanks, Paul. I'm excited that we're going to draw the winner of our door prize tonight. Thanks to all of you who registered for the event in advance. Your name's been put into a hat for the drawing of a fabulous French wines, champagnes, and spirits package. So let's bring in our special assistant who's going to draw the winning name. Hello.
Hello.
Who's our winner?
Let me see. There.
Tom Murray of Chicago. Congratulations, Tom. Cheers. Well, it looks like we're winding down another successful Tasting Stars. Paul, another great job as MC. We're so fortunate that you are with us again this year, and so fortunate and grateful for your ongoing support. Please accept our sincere thanks on behalf of the entire Tasting Stars family.
Brent, look, it's my pleasure and honor to MC these events for you. The cause is so important, and to know that we're making a difference tonight, how important that is. Thank you. And while I have you, I thank you and your lovely wife, Anne, for this bow tie that you gave me, which is our Tasting Stars bow tie now, because, of course, as people see it, it has sort of the little champagne glasses. I sort of love it. Thank you so much. It was very kind of you. And we want to thank you, too. But look, the evening may be winding down, but we are not done. We want to keep the momentum going. You can still donate. And remember, if for whatever reason you're not able to donate this evening, you could still make that donation through the end of June.
Thanks again to our presenting sponsor, Washington Square Health Foundation, and their generous matching grant this evening. Also, a huge thank you to the founder and CEO of the Silver Lining Foundation, Dr. Sandy Goldberg. And also thanks to two longtime partners of Tasting Stars, Entertaining Company and Dirt Environmental Solutions. Again, Paul, thank you. Our hats are off to you for the job that you've done tonight.
Again, Brent, cheers, or if I may say, l'chaim. It's been a pleasure to be with you and the entire Tasting Stars family. And speaking of the Tasting Stars family, actually, the whole family wanted to say thank you to you for your generosity for this evening, for being with us. And so here they are to say thank you, but stay with it, because after that, we have one final beautiful musical number as our way of saying, have a good evening. And I thank you.
Thank you for being with us tonight.
We hope you enjoyed the event.
We really appreciate your support. Thank you from our Tasting Stars family.
Thank you for your generous donations.
Merci beaucoup.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, everyone.